Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today, for the first time in nearly 4 years, I am here on Raceroom. Yes, the game, literally, as of recording this, has just received a huge update. We've got a massive graphics overhaul, but more importantly, at least in my mind, we have got the addition of the 1995 DTM pack. Yes, it's incredibly cool. It comes with 3 cars, the Alfa Romeo 155, the Opel Callibra, and the Mercedes as well there, plus a few all-new tracks, as you can see. Hockenheimring Classic, Avus as well in Berlin, and the Diepholz Airfield. I'm probably butchering the name of all of those as well. But today, yeah, we're going to be jumping in and taking on all of the new content, with the exception of Diepholz, because I looked at it and thought that looks quite boring as a race circuit. Of course, if you're new around here, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel. Like I said, I haven't played Raceroom in nearly 4 years. This is hopefully going to be kind of the new content that gets me back onto this game, because it's changed a lot since I last played it as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into a couple of laps with each of the new cars at Arvus or Avus or whatever you meant to call it. And then we're going to take on the original Hockenheim Classic venue as well for like a 4 or 5 lap race at the end of the video. Like I said, I've tried to get my settings kind of tweaked. For whatever reason, the car seems really unresponsive at low speed, just doing a couple of test runs just to make sure everything was working as it should. But yeah, we'll wait and see as to how this gets on. Like I said, hopefully this is going to get me back into Raceroom once and for all. Well, here we are then, first of all, in the Mercedes then. We're using the car driven by Bert Schneider, probably the most iconic Mercedes DTM livery of the mid-90s there. Let's quickly, I mean, Raceroom was always known for how good its cars sound inside sim. Let's give it a bit of a listen. Ooh, I have missed this. I don't know why, but so many games nowadays don't seem to prioritize audio enough. And this thing, well, we'll just do a fairly calm outlap first of all. Let's try and, you know, get up to speed now. Everything I've got set to factory, so ABS, traction control, all that good stuff. I don't believe there's any kind of stability management inside this game as well. Brakes are incredibly good. These things, of course, you know, race cars have got heavy in the last 25 years or so. But like I said, I struggle a little bit to try and get around the hairpin for some reason. I don't know whether that's an issue with these cars or whether it's an issue with my settings or what's going on. But yeah, hence why we're doing kind of the practice laps here, and then we're going to head over to Hockenheim, obviously for the main event proper. Now, I believe this car pack is around 1100 VRP, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, I'll make sure to leave a link down in the description below to the official Raceroom shop where you can buy VRP cheaper. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't have any discount code or anything like that, unless they want to hit me up. But yeah, you can save money rather than buying it directly through Steam. You basically buy the amount of points you need and obviously go from there. Now, obviously, you can just buy... weirdly, you can't buy it all as one pack, which is a little bit strange. I had to buy the cars and the circuits separately. So you can buy all 3 of the cars, but you can't buy it with all 3 of the tracks either, which is a little bit peculiar there. As we'll head out then onto our first lap. I mean, unfortunately, we don't quite get the old behemoth Arvus that used to exist, but we're still able to do nearly 250 clicks down in towards turn 1. And yeah, just try and get the car, like I said, rotated through the hairpin. So ridiculous. I need to bind like my handbrake or something to try and do that. I have actually also, I completely forgot, I've actually got it bound as well to my proper shifter, because of course this is 90s DTM. So I'm sure, actually, I think they were probably using H patterns still, weren't they, in the mid-90s. But we're going to use sequential for this video today. Now, Arvus is obviously mainly known for the old ridiculous F1 layout. Or not even just F1, of course. It was used for Formula 3 and DTM for a very long time, with the banking through, you know, the basically the wall of death through the final corner. And it did staggeringly, I think, in F1 only ever kill 1 driver, because you were effectively going down about, I think it was 4 miles of motorway in each direction, with a hairpin at one end, like the one we've got here, and yeah, a huge banked corner up the other one as well. So that was absolutely ridiculous back in the day. I don't know whether they've got any plans to add that layout to the games. Oh, we're going to run out of road. But it would be quite cool to see. Obviously, we've got the classic version of Hockenheim now as well. Like I said, we'll do our proper race in that in just a moment. But yeah, I mean, lap times around here, though, if you absolutely nail it through the chicane, which, yeah, the curbs are pretty lethal, as you can see. Oh, no! I rolled me Merc! That is incredible. Luckily, I've got damage turned off. I was not expecting to do that. I did not know that was going to be possible when I tried to mount that curb. That is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, like I said, laps around here are going to be around a minute. Yeah, like I was saying, obviously, I would buy VRP Online. You do save normally about 15-20%. So it is well worth the savings. But all in all, this entire pack is probably going to cost you about £15. But obviously, hopefully by the end of this video, I'll have a verdict as to whether I think it's worth it. Because, yeah, Raceroom, they seem to be on a bit of a fight back at the moment. Like we said, huge graphics overday. I'm going to try and go later on the way in. Oh, that doesn't help. Try and kick the back end out slightly. No chance we can do anything like that on the exit of the corner either. They're 1.7 seconds up, though. I guess we'll take that. We'll try and see how close we can get to a sub 1 minute lap time. But yeah, Raceroom, like I said, obviously, they've done a load of implementation with new online features and things like that as well, which is super, super cool over the last couple of years. So they really are trying to kind of they're basically trying to become like a cheaper version of iRacing, which I think is not a bad place to be, but of course it does kind of depend on what the online support is still like and everything like that, as we'll try and allow the car just to run a little bit wide on the exit of the final corner. We're going to get close to that 1 minute mark, but just over on a 1 minute 10, so we'll give it one more. We will just try one more time and see how close we can get there. But yeah, these things, they sound absolutely ridiculous, as you can see just how late you can brake. I need to remember to disable the kind of weird racing line. Ow. I think we're gonna lose some time there. Let's try the Opel Callibra, I think. Right, well, next up then is gonna be the Opel here, and again we'll do a quick sound test. Sounds a lot more subdued, actually, than the Merc, so that's quite interesting then. Let's see if it feels any different either, as all of these cars, yeah, with the new graphics update, Raceroom is kind of like, it always was the ugly duckling, if you will, and it feels like maybe with this update, it is finally going to turn into a bit of a swan there, which would be absolutely fantastic. Steering, initially it felt like the rotation was pretty good then, annoyingly ended up not quite working out as well as I thought. Yeah, I don't really know what I can sort of change around with that, unless I kind of lower my steering rack, or maybe there's a setting actually inside the car that you can change it around with as well. But yeah, this thing though, I tell you what, sounds good on the upshift. Sounds, like I said, a lot more subdued than the Mercedes lower down on the revs as well there. But yeah, this thing, of course, obviously, for those of you that aren't aware, obviously, we don't have Opel here in the UK. We have a separate kind of, I mean, it's exactly the same, but we have Vauxhall here. So effectively, yeah, this was obviously like Vauxhall's supercar of the late 90s, I guess we're calling it. Obviously, alongside the, obviously, iconic Lotus Carlton as well there. But I tell you what, this thing's even quicker in a straight line. We just touched 250 clicks that time round. So, oh, come on. This is so dumb. So stupid. Don't know. I need to have a look. I need to try like the handbrake or something, don't I? To try and do something different with this thing. But again, though, I mean, it feels very similar to the Merc. Obviously, once you kind of get some competitive races and things like that, you'll have a better idea as kind of whether all three cars are pretty even in terms of pace, or whether one of them is a little bit overpowered and things like that. But yeah, it's again, you know, they all feel very responsive. Of course, this was kind of, as DTM, this was kind of the groundwork for DTM going mental into kind of the early and mid-2000s, because of course, I mean, I've driven the 1992 cars there we go, sub 1 minute lap time as well. But yeah, the 1992 cars were kind of a lot more basic and normal. By the time we got round to 1995, DTM, as you can tell, yeah, big wings, big aero, everything like that. Costs had completely skyrocketed. That was, I think, the worst line I'm going to do through that hairpin throughout the entirety of this. So these were almost like, yeah, the genesis of when DTM started to go mental, which ultimately, you know, hindsight is a beautiful thing, but 30 years down the line, kind of completely killed what made the DTM great in the first place. Because, of course, yeah, now it's just a GT3 series, isn't it, in 2024, which I think works well for Raceroom, because effectively it means they can get GT3 cars in the game without having to, you know, kind of trip on other companies' licenses with, like, IMSA or British GT on Assetto Corsa and things like that. But yeah, this thing again, though, it feels, like I said, very, very similar to the Mercedes. I don't know kind of how different these cars would have driven in real life to each other, but yeah, so far it feels like you got a tiny bit more top speed in it, though. Maybe that's just me getting braver and braver in towards turn 1, but yeah, feels pretty good. Oh, come on. I was able to get the power down a little bit earlier that time. Come on, are we going to be able to go ever so slightly quicker? We're 2 tenths down in Sector 1, but yeah, I tell you what, that thing on the upshift does sound absolutely brilliant. And so, yeah, they do, I don't know, I think these cars must have had traction control then, or something, because the way it kind of feels like it bogs off of the corner just occasionally, it's very, very peculiar, and that might be why we're struggling as well to kind of get it off the corners, because it almost understeers, which is a little bit weird as we try and make our way out the final corner, though not quite going to be able to find the time I wanted. But yeah, there we go. The Opel as well feels very, very similar. Now we head into my favourite car of the pack, because the one I'm most looking forward to, one of my favourite ever cars in sim racing, is the Alfa Romeo. Well, here we go then. This was the one I was looking forward to the most, the Alfa Romeo 155. We've slapped the Martini livery on it as well. You won't obviously be able to see that in these little hot laps, but boy oh boy, this one I'm looking forward to. 12,000 RPM this thing revs to. Let's hear just what that sounds like. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this. I tell you what, this thing sounds just a little bit better, I would say, than the Merc, and definitely a whole lot better than the Opel as well there. And yeah, this was the reason I wanted to come back to Raceroom, because this car, like I said, is genuinely one of my favourite in the world. We'll try and put even more steering rack on it, and it still won't work. I've had a look through the setup now. There's nothing you can really do to kind of get these cars to rotate through there a little bit better, unless I go through and kind of change my wheel settings and things like that. And ultimately, yeah, we shouldn't have the same problems when we move to Hockenheim. So hopefully it's not going to be too much of a concern. Yeah, I've double checked as well. There is definitely traction control, which I was not expecting from these cars. So kind of goes to show you just, well, I've got an even better example of just how much money there was kicking around in DTM in 1995. The Martini team, they're 2 drivers, Alessandro Nannini, and the other one was Nicola Larini. 2 ex-Italian F1 drivers. So that was the kind of budget you were playing around with when you were in the DTM, or even the British touring cars as well back then. Obviously when super touring cars reigned supreme, I mean, it's no surprise, you know, kind of all these series were so popular back in the 90s because the cars were rocket ships. And I absolutely love it. And a shame I was never alive to really witness it. Of course, I still got to see a bit of a golden era of the British touring cars as well, but they just don't make National Race Series like they used to anymore, and that's a real shame as well. As we'll try and get our first lap on the board then. This thing's actually looking very, very racy. I didn't check to see what top speed was like down at turn 1, but just try and throw the car in again. Feels very, very understeery through the middle part of the corner, but I think that's as you try and roll on the throttle, the power just gets cut out underneath you. Up towards the line though, 58.99. We did a 58.8. So this thing is looking fast. What's the speed like into turn 1? Is it any quicker than the Merc? It seems to be... Oh, we got 251. So, yeah, these... I reckon this might be... Perhaps I'm just getting more and more used to the cars as well. I mean, that's still a problem every single time. Perhaps this thing is slightly quicker than the others, as we found a little bit more through that first corner as well there. But, yeah, I remember doing laps. I think it was in the 156 Alfa Romeo on Assetto Corsa the classic Silverstone. A very odd combo, I know. But yeah, this thing just sounds... I mean, it got a nice V6 engine in it. It just sounds incredible. And like I said, 12,000 RPM. What engine revs to 12,000 RPM in something that's meant to resemble a road car? Absolute insanity there. Is up over the line again. We'll go. I don't think we'll quite match it there. There we go. Another 58.8 though, so we're not a million miles away. Consistency. I'm quite surprised by how consistent I am so far. And I must admit, I'm still impressed by how Raceroom feels as well. Behind the wheel, as that was... Right, try and absolutely mash the throttle. Will that work? Yes, it does! So, apparently, to get the car through the corner, I needed more throttle. So I was not expecting that to be the case. Yeah, we do chew through the tyres, though, as well. So that's something to keep in mind. But, I mean, yeah, chuck it through there again. Ugh! And we got a horrible run off the exit. There you go. Now you can see the livery on the car as well. But, yeah, like I said, what we'll do, we'll head over to the Hockenheimring Classic layout then. We'll do probably a 4-lap race, because I kind of forgot how long that track is. It's almost as long as Spa. And we'll see what these things are like in a race against each other. Well, here we are then. We have got 34 DTM cars here. 35 DTM cars down on the grid. And for some reason, I've got 10 kilos of ballast in my car, which I'm not sure how I've ended up with that as well. Can I get rid of that ballast? Surely I don't need that. To slow me down in this race. I mean, the engine map 5. I mean, look at that. 12,000 RPM, like I said. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I don't think we're going to need anywhere near as much wing angle here. We're going to run 19. And obviously, yeah, 1 downforce on the front. Safe to say they were still lacking a little bit of sophistication back in the day as well there. But, yeah, I don't know how I can get rid of my BOP. How do I get rid of my BOP? I don't want any... I mean, it's 10 kilos. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. We might just sit at the rear of the field, let everybody by, see how we all get on. But it is going to be 5 red lights here at the classic Hockenheim circuit. Lights are about to go out. Listen to the cars rev up, and it is going to be green flag racing then, off to a fairly good actual start there as we make our way in towards turn 1. Try and get down the middle of a couple of different drivers there, and I got no idea what the old version of this circuit's going to be like. It's Keke Rosberg, some iconic names as well. JJ Leto as well. I've just noticed in front of me there. Alan Menu as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, plenty of huge names in motorsport back in the 80s and 90s. Ended up giving DTM a go there, as you can see. Our low downforce setup helping me out as we make our way down this first of the monstrous straights around this venue. It is so cool that sim racing allows a circuit like this to remain alive as well there as we try and navigate our way through. For some reason, yeah, the steering lock, very, very different to anything we saw in practice there, as we're just going to cut off that driver as well. On my outside, I got no idea. The steering feels fine in the car. But yeah, why on earth it's changed around then? I did have to quickly restart the game, and that wasn't anything that I thought would make a big change there. It's down into the second chicane we go then. Again, braking at about 125 meters out there and just try and take those curves nice and tidy on the exit. I mean, like I said, this circuit's just under 7 kilometers. 6.8 kilometers, if I'm not mistaken, made up the original venue here. It's almost as far as Spa there. It's down the inside of both Rosberg and JJ Leto there, so happy with that one. You can see we got Nannini up at the front of the orders. Oh, we're going to get dive bombed here. There you go, back down the inside. Whoa, Rosberg there gives me a big old squeeze. And you can see Leto as well. How on earth did he find the grip? Where on earth did JJ Leto come from to get that one then? We'll try and pull out the slipstream again on the exit of the corner now. And as we make our way down in towards the part of the circuit that more modern Formula 1 fans might recognise, again, we have got ridiculous straight line speed. In towards the stadium section we'll go though. How is this thing going to handle through the hairpin? Hopefully it's going to be a little bit easier than it was back at Arvus, as we'll try and have a look around the outside of Rosberg yet again. Oh, come on, nice and easy, nice and easy. Oh, definitely struggling with that understeer still. A little bit of a problem. Oh, we've got someone down the inside. I don't even know how to pronounce their name, but yeah, we're going to have to be really, really careful as well. We're going to get a lap time invalidation as well. Were they that strict with track limits back in the 90s? I don't know. As we'll give, yeah, like I said, I don't know. I don't even know where to begin with their name. Calcero? I don't know. I'm guessing. We've probably butchered it. Someone who's a bit more of an expert of classic DTM, can let me know down in the comments below there. So just running a little bit wide there. It is so important you get the run off the corners around this venue. It can be really, really tricky to do there, but once again, I think, yeah, this thing is definitely a little bit quicker in a straight line there as we're going to try and go around. How many Opels is it down this back straight there? As up at a 6th gear there, forgetting we've got that extra gear in the box. I mean, that's almost 160 miles an hour in a car that you could go out and buy on Monday morning. Admittedly, you know, it wasn't quite this fast, but, you know, these things, yeah, were still very, very quick cars at the end of the day there. As I mean, you can see that is we got 2 Allen menus in this race apparently. I think we've got a couple of double ups up and down the order there, but yeah, battling it out with Nannini as well. It's down the next of the straights there. I believe the first one is the longest of the lap there, and look at that, Dalmas as well side by side, and they'll make it through fairly clean and tidy. Luckily, yeah, I mean, I don't know what I've set the AI aggression to for this one, but they seem to be fairly respectful of each other, as respectful as you would expect from 90s DTM, as we're almost going to make it 3 wide on the exit down in towards the kind of final chicane of the old layout there, as Nannini just being a little bit hesitant. We will just coast the car into the next corner. No, we won't. We're going to get absolutely dived again there, but the AI, I tell you what, they're giving me a good run for my money. They're kind of a good level of aggression as well. The AI on this sim, yeah, really were good fun. I remember that all the time as well. As you can see there, Reuter not able to get the run off the corner. Took himself through a trip through the gravel, desperately trying to get round me in the first place. And as you make your way down in towards the Sachs curve once again then, lap times here aren't as long as I thought they would be. I thought we were going to be up probably, you know, sort of high 2 minutes. But it looks like lap time should be, you know, wrapped up in under 2.5 there. And I mean, that's mad to cover 7 kilometers in a car with 4 doors. In a car that, like I said, you could go out and buy on Monday morning. You know, the late 90s was still an era of, you know, win on Sunday, sell on Monday. Not quite like they are nowadays. There we go, 2:25 is going to be new fastest lap so far then of this race. Oh, as Allen Menu again gets a big wobble there. That's going to slow up. There was that Nannini as well on the exit of the corner there. So a bit of P2 we're going to move up to then. And can we try and get the run on Dolmas as well, who I think was a bit slow as well off the corner. I think we've definitely got a little bit of a top speed advantage over everybody else right now. Maybe our low downforce setup working absolute wonders here. And I must admit, I think, yeah, for this race though, keeping on the braking line. Oh no, I'm gonna have to take the. Where's the escape road chicane? Where do I go? Where do I go? I think we'll just go for it now. We've lost some time from it. I think hopefully the DTM. I don't know what the kind of governing body for the DTM is. ADAC, I believe. Yeah, well, let me get away with that one then, as we did lose a lot of time on the exit. Yeah, I'll be honest. So far this race, where we've all been so bunched up, the braking markers haven't actually really been that useful inside as well. The result in Nannini again just runs a little bit wide. I mean, imagine doing this circuit without the chicanes as well. Chucking it through those corners there, as now everybody else seeming to get a little bit stronger as well. JJ Leto will try and move back past me. Keke Rosberg as well. I didn't even realise he was still on the right side there. Just tucked up in our blind spot. But, I mean, look at this. The AI is still so bunched up. The old Hockenheim really was something special, wasn't it? It's 3 wide temporarily for the lead there. Dolmas, I think, got better of that one. As you can see, everybody again trips over on the exit. Nannini there will hold up later again, so we're trying to look around the outside. Oh, we're going to get a big old squeeze. Can we keep it there? Yes, we can. I was just at that moment of worry then when I thought those cones might just be made of black holes or something, and we were going to get a little bit slowed down there, but this has been absolutely ridiculous so far. And I tell you what, I hope the support for these things online is going to hold up, because I definitely want to give this a go in an online race at some point over the next few days as well there, because this thing is really, really fun at the moment. There's one more lap to go then, once we navigate our way through the final corner. Apparently I've already invalidated my last lap as well, which is not particularly good going. Oh, Dolmas again cannot get the run off the corner. The AI definitely a little bit hesitant to try and get that power down, as we'll try and look to the outside. Allen Menu, big dive into turn 1. More contact between him and Reuter there, and we just go for a bit of a trip through the gravel again then, and everybody Is he going to steamroll past me off the exit of that first corner? We got Rosberg still on my outside, though. I can hear him next to me as we're going to make it 3 wide down the straight once again. Which side of the Nini do we go? We'll try and move to the outside line then. Down this back straight as well there. Like I said, 260 clicks you're almost hitting when you're in the toe of the car in front, as that is too late on the brakes. Dolmas, I'm sorry. Absolutely sent him to the Shadow Realm. Oh, I don't want to do it to everybody. I don't want to make too many enemies in this race. There's Nanini. Just got a little bit caught out in all of that as well there. That Martini livery. I mean, these things look so, so good as well. All of these cars, you've got so many of the real-life liveries as well from the DTM season in 1995. And I tell you what, this is fun. This is really special. And a great piece of content on Raceroom as well. This is exactly the kind of thing Raceroom thrives at. That is so, so cool, and I love it so, so much. You know, if you're into the DTM, if you're, if you play Raceroom, that kind of thing, I cannot recommend this pack enough. It is so much fun to try and go down the middle there, maybe to the lead of the race on this final lap. I definitely haven't got the confidence to brake as late as the AI bit, or the confidence to get squeezed out. As Alan Menu again will just try to cover me off on the exit of the corner there. Even McDonald's was sponsoring DTM cars back in the 90s, it would appear. Did not know that as a fun fact as well. But just a handful of corners to go then. We need to try and get past Reuter before we make it into the Sachs curve. But I don't think we're going to go for a send. We get it slowed down on the apex. How on earth did we manage that there? I thought we were going to absolutely fire it into the side of him. We'll try and switch him into the Sachs curve as well. You can just hear that little beep is when you try and downshift too early. And the engine just won't allow it to happen there. I mean, these old DTM cars, I think they absolutely would have. As through the final couple of corners we're going to go. Is it going to be Reuter? Is it going to be ourselves? Can we get the run off of the final corner up towards the line? He's going to be very, very slow. Off of that corner, drag race to the line. We are just going to pip him. And what a race that was there. So much fun. 1/10 of a second at the line between myself there and Reuter in the end. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed. Like I said, that pack, if you play Raceroom, if you've done a bit on this sim before, it is really, really good fun. They did not know Fisichella racing the DTM before he debuted in F1. Listen to that in the background, that is mental. But yeah, I'm going to try and do some online races in this thing as well in the near future. Like I said, get yourself subbed, and we'll be back very soon with more Raceroom content.